Roswell versus Marietta, similar on the surface, but very different once you dig in. Today we're comparing Marietta and Roswell, two North Atlanta suburbs that are right next to each other. We're putting them head to head across 8 categories: population density, downtown, location, home prices, healthcare, schools, safety, and things to do. At the end, we're gonna tally up the points and crown a winner. Hey, my name's Joel. I'm a local realtor here in Metro Atlanta, and this is what I do. I make videos to help people know what it's like to live here in Metro Atlanta, and every day I help people just like you make a move to or in Georgia. Let's get into it. When you compare Marietta and Roswell, the first thing that we're going to talk about is how different they feel. Even though they're only about 20 minutes apart, these are two of the largest and most established suburbs in North Atlanta. But their layout, their density, and lifestyle are going to offer two very distinct experiences. Let's start with Marietta. It's bigger both in terms of population and square mileage. The city of Marietta proper has over 60,000 people, but if you count the broader unincorporated area, and a lot of people do, you're looking at well over 120,000. That's a lot of people, and it's built more like a city because of it. You've got dense clusters of housing near downtown, historic neighborhoods with smaller lots, and plenty of commercial corridors along Roswell Road and Cobb Parkway. It's active, it's varied, and it's busy. Not in a bad way necessarily, but if you're looking for something quiet and tucked away, it's going to depend heavily on the neighborhood that you choose. Roswell, on the other hand, has a slightly smaller population, just under 95,000, and is, a little bit more residential by design. There are a few high-density pockets, some more green space, and more neighborhoods where homes are spaced out and surrounded by trees. It has that quiet old money feel, the kind of place where everything looks manicured, but not flashy necessarily. You're not going to see as many apartment complex or older duplexes here as you will in some of the parts of Marietta. So if you want activity and more housing options at a variety of price points, Marietta is going to be a better move. But if you're looking for space, calm, and more of that traditional upscale suburban feel, then Roswell is going to take it. So points going to go to Roswell for just lower density and more residential comfort. This is one of the more fun matchups because both Marietta and Roswell have really great downtowns, and they each bring something totally unique to the table. Let's start with Marietta. The heartbeat of the city is Marietta Square. It's one of the hippest downtown districts in the entire metro. I was just there yesterday. There's cobblestone streets, a central green space, antique stores, indie coffee shops, and absolutely stacked lineup of restaurants. You can grab a fried chicken sandwich at the Marietta Local, cocktails at Two Birds Tap House, pizza from Marietta Pizza Kitchen, or you can swing by the food hall if your crew just can't make up their mind. There's tons of options there. And then there's the events, the live music, the art galleries, the Strand Theater, and something happening pretty much every weekend. Taste of Marietta, Chalktoberfest, Glover Park concerts. The square is always happening. It's lively, it's quirky, and it draws people from all over Atlanta. Now, Roswell, no doubt, is incredibly charming. Canton Street is beautiful. Historic buildings, massive oak trees, and some of the best dining in the metro for brunch, date nights, wine nights, lunch, really everything. It's elegant, it's super walkable, and it's definitely a very cool vibe. The Roswell Historic District and proximity to the Chattahoochee River add even more charm to it. But it's quieter, it's more reserved, less activity day to day unless there's, maybe something really specific going on. Definitely exceptional for the food, but not much else. Marietta is going to win this round. More events, more community energy, and a downtown that genuinely feels like the center of the city. Location is one of those categories where things look close on a map, but the lifestyle and convenience that comes with that location can be very different. Let's start with Marietta. It's about 30 miles northwest of downtown Atlanta and sits right along I-75, which makes commuting into the city, getting to the airport, or hopping over to the Battery and Truist Park super straightforward. That highway access is a big deal, especially if you work downtown or need to make frequent trips into the city. And because Marietta is such a big hub in its own right, really, you've got major employers nearby. There's also solid medical infrastructure and retail corridors that are going to rival some standalone cities. Plus, you're surrounded by other heavy hitter suburbs like Smyrna, Kennesaw, Woodstock. So even if you don't go into Atlanta that often, you've still got tons of options close by. Now, Roswell is positioned just north of Sandy Springs and east of Marietta, and that's very centrally located in the metro. Really, when you look at North Metro Atlanta, there's Roswell dead center. You're within 20 minutes of Alpharetta, I would say, Johns Creek, Milton, Dunwoody, Sandy Springs, and you've got Georgia 400 running right along the east side, which is going to connect you straight into Buckhead and Midtown in the city. That makes it incredibly flexible whether you're heading to a tech job in Alpharetta, a client meeting in Midtown, or a weekend trip up to the North Georgia mountains. And it is also surrounded by some of the highest ranked suburbs in the state, which is part of why Roswell has become such a destination itself. So how do you choose? If you're commuting to downtown or want fast access to the airport, I think Marietta is going to be your winner. But if you want to be centrally connected to some of the most desirable suburbs in Georgia, then I think Roswell's location is hard to beat. So I think points going to go to Roswell. When it comes to home prices, both Roswell and Marietta are solidly in that upper middle tier of Metro Atlanta suburbs, but there's a big difference of what you get for that money. Let's start with Roswell. The median home price here is around $625,000, which is a little bit of a dip over the past couple of years. A lot of that price tag goes into the great location and the high school ratings. But here's the catch. A lot of Roswell's homes were built in the 70s and the 80s, and while many maybe have been updated, you're still dealing with older floor plans, smaller closets, and sometimes some dated infrastructure. Inventory is always tight, so when a good one hits the market, it typically goes fast. Now flip over to Marietta and things open up a bit. The average home price here is closer to $450,000, but that range is huge. You can find historic cottages near the square, mid-century ranches, brand new townhomes, and even luxury new builds in East Cobb, all under what you're gonna pay for the same thing in Roswell. And if you're willing to drive just a few extra minutes west or south, that price can drop even further without sacrificing any quality of the home. Marietta just offers more options, more styles, more neighborhoods, and more price points. And that's really what it comes down to, value. For a lot of buyers, Marietta checks all the same boxes as Roswell: school, charm, access, but with a smaller price tag. That's why we're seeing more and more people who originally targeted Roswell end up buying in Marietta. So Marietta is gonna win just for affordability and value. Let's take a quick pause and say, if you're thinking about making a move to either one of these cities, there is a menu of ways that you can take your next step. You can reach out to me directly at the contact info that you see on the screen right now, or you can fill out our Connect form and we will be happy to reach out to you at a time that is convenient. Or just grab our free relocation guide if you're still in the early research phase. And of course, if you're not ready for any of that, just keep watching. We still got a lot more to cover. When it comes to healthcare, both Marietta and Roswell are pretty well covered, but one of them has a clear edge when it comes to access, proximity, and choice. Let's start with Marietta, which is anchored by Wellstar Kennestone Hospital. This is a major facility, over 600 beds, level 2 trauma center, and one of the largest emergency departments in the entire Southeast. It's a full service hospital and a major asset to the city. Surrounding it, you've got dozens of urgent care centers, private practices, and specialty clinics. So if you live in or near central Marietta, everything you need is going to be very close by. But here's where Roswell pulls ahead. It's surrounded on all sides by top tier hospital systems, all within a 15-minute drive. Roswell itself is home to Wellstar North Fulton Hospital, which offers full hospital services, including emergency care, surgeries, women's health, and all of the things. But just drive a few minutes south, just across the Chattahoochee River, and then you've entered Sandy Springs. And that hospital corridor is home to Northside Hospital Atlanta, Emory St. Joseph's, and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Scottish Rite. This is one of the densest and most advanced medical clusters in the entire Southeast region, and it's right on Roswell's doorstep. So while Marietta has one of the state's largest hospitals right in the city, so does Roswell. Plus, you have multiple nationally ranked hospitals just down the road, covering everything from cancer care to pediatrics to surgical specialties. Point goes to Roswell. If you've got kids or you care about long-term home value and school reputation as it pertains to resale value, this might be the most important category on the list. Let's start with Marietta. The public high schools here, especially Walton High School, Lassiter High School, Pope High School, are consistently ranked among the best in the entire state. Walton routinely lands in the top 10 in Georgia, and Lassiter and Pope also make at least the top 25 or 50. On the various rating platforms, Walton, Lassiter, Pope, they're all going to carry high marks, multiple 10 out of 10s on greatschools.org, A's or A pluses on niche.com. Now, that said, they come with expectations. The academic culture is intense, the pace is fast, and the students often deal with some demanding workloads. Now, Roswell also does well. Its high schools are going to be Roswell High School and Centennial High School, both very respectable options. These get really good ratings, maybe not elite, and for some, that's a great balance as these schools will not have that same pressurized environment. So here's how I break it down. Marietta wins if you want the very top tier public high schools, strong academic track records, and the prestige resale value that comes with living in a top school zone. Roswell wins if you prefer a more balanced, perhaps lower pressure high school experience. Still a great education, but with a little bit more breathing room compared to, the grind culture. Now, just going off the numbers, gotta give the point to Marietta. When you're picking a place to live or raise a family, safety matters. So let's see how Marietta and Roswell stack up. And we're using data, not just vibes here. This is not my opinion on things. We'll be citing third-party sources. Roswell performs pretty well on public safety metrics. According to Neighborhood Scout's report, Roswell's total crime rate is about 15 incidents per 1,000 residents, which breaks down to roughly 2 violent crimes per 1,000 and 13 property crimes per 1,000. That means your chance of experiencing any crime in Roswell is approximately 1 in 68 annually, which all that means that, quote, Roswell has a crime rate that is noticeably lower than the average. This means that for comparably sized cities all across America, Roswell is actually safer than most, end quote. Now, Marietta is more of a mixed bag. According to Neighborhood Scout, Marietta's overall crime rate is around 31 incidents per 1,000 residents. That's more than double Roswell's. Violent crime in Marietta is about 4 per 1,000, while property crime is around 27 per 1,000. That gives a general chance of becoming a victim somewhere between 1 in 32 per year for either violent or property crime. Now, this is well above both Georgia's and national averages. Neighborhood Scout says, quote, regardless of how Marietta does relative to all communities in America of all sizes, when Neighborhood Scout compared it to communities of similar population size, its crime rate per 1,000 residents stands out as higher than most. And yes, there are safer neighborhoods, especially in the suburbs and more residential parts, which you can see when you look at the heat map from Neighborhood Scout. But overall, as a citywide average, Marietta's crime rate remains noticeably higher than Roswell's. Now, just comparing data to data, point goes to Roswell. If you're the type of person who likes your weekends full, whether that means hiking trails, live music, craft cocktails, family-friendly events, both Marietta and Roswell have a ton to offer, but they definitely do it in some different ways. Let's start with Roswell, which might have the edge when it comes to natural beauty and historic scenery. You've definitely got Canton Street, which we've already talked about. It is packed with top-tier restaurants, wine bars, art galleries, boutique shops. But just minutes away, you've also got the Chattahoochee River with miles of trails, the boardwalk, places to kayak, fish, or you can just walk your dog. There's Roswell Mill, Vickery Creek Falls, and access to the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area, which is gonna make an amazing location for anyone who just loves blending nature into your everyday life. It's got a more active, outdoorsy meets charming night out kind of vibe. Now, over in Marietta, things are a little bit more varied and spread out. We've already covered Marietta Square, which is a hub of live events, restaurants, and local culture. But beyond that, you've got access to Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park, which is one of the best hiking spots in really all of Metro Atlanta. 3,000 acres of trails, history, scenic views. You've also got the Strand Theater, Marietta Cobb Museum of Art, and a constant rotation of festivals, community events. If you're a Braves fan, or maybe just an MLB fan, Truist Park is right down the road. Plus, being right off of I-75 means you're just minutes from Smyrna, Kennesaw, all the other suburbs with their own great restaurants and activities. So how do you pick? Roswell is more historic, more nature integrated, and phenomenal for food. It's ideal for anyone who loves the combo of green space and higher end charm. Marietta wins on variety, accessibility, and maybe just the sheer number of things to do. So for me, I think point goes to Marietta. And the winner is, it depends. We've got a 4-4 tie here, and as much of a cop-out as this feels like, it really comes down to your preference. I mean, are there any soccer fans out there that are comfortable with ties? If you want riverfront trails, historic charm, quieter, historic vibe, Roswell is gonna feel like a home for you. But if you're looking for variety, top-ranked schools, big events, and better access to maybe the rest of the metro, then Marietta is gonna be a better move. If you've got more questions or want help figuring out your next move, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to me at the contact info on your screen. You can take 30 seconds to fill out our Connect form, and we will reach out to you. You can download our free relocation guide if you're just researching, or you know what, you don't want to do any of that. Just watch some more videos. I'll see you in the next one.